this point in time. Tonight we're going to talk about what machine I'd buy. As you can see, I have detectors. There's more off screen. I buy all of them. But anyway, let's get going with the intro and we'll go from there. Okay, so there's something not quite right with the intro. I don't know whether anyone noticed, but welcome. Looks like we're live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Tonight we're going to give away, I don't even know whether I can get it. We're going to give away a detector. We're going to give away a Go Find 66. Fantastic little machine from Minelab. So that's what we're giving away tonight. All you need to do is make a comment in the stream. There should be lots of comments. I've got to get the comments up here and go from there. So it looks like we're all running live. We're looking good. Everything's happening. I've just got to get over here, and why won't that log in? That's our big problem at the moment. Let's get it going here. So, how is everyone? It's great to be back in the shop. Just fantastic to be back in the shop. We've got a list of all sorts of stuff happening there. So, it's really, really good. Right, so we've got some comments coming up now. I'm glad I've got that organised. I have got a bit of a cold. I'm on the drugs. No, I haven't got the COVID. I've just got a cold. So, no Wu-Tang virus here, just a normal cold. Craig's in the house, Trevor, Darkside in the house, YouTube not started yet, evening all. I've got lots of comments from YouTube, so maybe a big refresh or something. Let me just see what's going on. Yes, not sure what's going on there. Let's just have a look here. My channel, Monday Night Live, is live. So it is live, guys. So just refresh if you're not getting it on the YouTube. Jenko's Gold, Daryl, John Wright, Nikki, Kate, Sue, Richard from Glendon's in the house. They've had a big competition finish there. What's the best detector? The one you got in your hand. So yes. So welcome. Now this is not a technologically advanced night. I am seriously just going to pick up a machine and explain to you what I think about these machines. There's a stack of them. As it was, I can't decide which is the best myself. Well, I have decided what's the best, but and what I've done here is I've split them up into 4 categories, right? So we're going to deal with 4 categories tonight. Okay. The best gold detector, best pulse induction gold detector. The best entry-level gold detector, right? The best relic, beach and relic machine, and then an entry-level beach and relic machine, okay? So, yes. So that's what I've just split into 4 categories. I know previously we had 5 or 6 mid-range categories and all that sort of thing. So what I've done is I've just split it down a little bit for you there. And yes, so Paul, we must have missed your call today. Yes, so at some stage during the show we'll give away this, guys. It may not be exactly at the end. We'll see how we end up. Right, so I suppose the big thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is if you're looking at one of these high-end gold detectors, right? If you spend over $4,000, which is the high-end gold detectors, which are down this end, falling against the wall there, you get a free week at Palmerville. Free week at Palmerville. If you spend over $4,000 in the shop, doesn't have to be a specific machine or anything like that. Spend $4,000, yeah, that's what happens. So yes, your scheduled YouTube reminder comes up as a second video. Don't you hate that? I don't know why it doesn't show up on mine as that, but yes. 25 watching. Is it there? No, that should be it. Let's get out of that before we get some feedback. So that should be cool. It should be all working, I think. I don't know. So, right. Okay, let's get Daniel's here. Alan, Greg, Peter, Gary, Peter. Lots of people here tonight. Righto. So where do we want to start? Let's see. Where do we want to start? I don't know where we want to start. Let's talk about entry level, okay? Let's talk about entry level machines, okay? Now, it's a little difficult for Beach and Relic because I don't know where the entry level point is for most people, okay? For a lot of people. So let's start at the entry level, okay? So for kids just starting out, you just want a cheap machine to go to, right? You cannot go past the Go Find, as I almost knocked my drink off there, Go Find 22, right? You can't go past it, right? Go Find 22 is like below $200, okay? It's a pretty good machine for its price point, okay? It folds up nice and small, even the handle goes down, all that sort of jazz. But yeah, Go Find 22 is a great little machine, okay? Now, I like to Go Find 22. I like to Go Find 44, right? But I don't like to Go Find 66, right? The 66 has got some cool features. It's got, iPhone apps and all that sort of jazz. But I don't like it, right? Because it's the same price as this, right? It is, right? So that's a $389 machine, right? The Vanquish multi-frequency 340, right? It is a far better machine than a Go Find 66. Substantially better machine, okay? So that's, I don't like the 66 for that reason. It's the same money as a multi-frequency machine. You would buy this multi-frequency machine all day long, right? So, all of a sudden, you go from this fella here, dry sand on the beach, coin and relics, and the Go Find, to this one starting to get into your wet sand, okay? So, very, very good machine, not waterproof, right? Not waterproof, but this thing is phenomenal. $389 for a multi-frequency machine that's very, very, very powerful. Okay? So, folds down nice and small too. Not as small as the Go Find, obviously. But, yes. So, that's my second entry-level machine. Okay? I'll get rid of the little Go Find. Put him over there. Right. Now, let's call this the mid-range. Right? And really, only one of two entries come into this from the world's biggest detector company, and that's Garrett, right? I can't do more than 2. So, it's this one, right? This is one of 2, right? And the other one, I think, is good, but it's a bit embarrassing, the other one too. We'll get to that. But the Apex and the Equinox 600, it's over there, right? I'll get it in a minute. $7.99 Apex, the latest thing out from Garrett. Garrett, if anyone from Garrett is listening, bring out some new machines. Like this is the first machine you've bought out seriously in years, right? And it's a nice machine. Not waterproof, but a very, very, very good machine, right? So, yeah. So that there, right, I think is a quality machine. Very, very good build quality, American made, right? Get some extra coils with it now. Really quite a good machine. Odd coil, odd shaped coil, but a very good coil. So, so we love the Apex. I'm an old Garrett man, right, from donkeys ages ago. And I'd love to have more Garretts here, but they simply, some of these other machines outclass them, sort of thing. So, yeah. Right, so, well, as I knock them all over, the Gold Monster doesn't want to stay there. So, this is the Equinox 800. Right, but I'm actually talking about the 600 as entry-level machine. Now the 600, right, is $879, so a little bit dearer than the Apex, right? And it's sort of where we transition into our sort of top end. So this thing here is a phenomenal machine. If you've got no interest in going gold detecting, right, an Equinox 600 will do your relic hunting and your beach hunting. All you need. The only difference between the 800 and the 600, pardon me, is the simple fact that the 800 has the gold prospecting. Okay, so if you're not interested in going gold hunting, save yourself a couple $100, buy a 600. Okay, that's the Equinox 600, right? So that's a relic machine. Right, that's our entry-level relic machines. Now, this is where I start to get controversial. So, right, so AT Max is annoying, the noise it makes. It is. There's a lot of machines that, yep, a lot of machines that don't do that. Never swung a Garrett. Yeah, Damien. Yep. Some of the early Garretts were killer machines. That GTI 2500 that I used to own, it was a fantastic relic machine. Oh my God, it was a good machine. I still think it would compete with these machines, these good high-end relic machines now. It was a great machine. It was the one that had the image. It had imaging on it, so it'd tell you the shape of the target. So it was quite a cool machine. So, what about the ATX? I'll get to the ATX when we get into the pulse induction machines. So, yep. Oh, the AT Pro, like, now I'm saying what I would buy now, right? I still love the AT Pro. I can pick it up, go and use it. I don't think it's bad as well. The Ace machines are just killer on coins. If you're pulling $2 coins in a park, the Ace machines are fantastic from Garrett. Some of the Garrett machines are sensational. Daryl Arnett got the Dars 2 as well as the Nox 800. Be interesting to see whether your opinion on those two matches up with mine. So, yes. So, right, any other questions about those thingos? Those two. First machine, we go find 22. Yes. Craig, I can get 4,500 batteries, no trouble at all. It's the same as a 5,000 batteries. So, right, okay, so now let's get into relic hunters, right? Top end relic hunters, what I consider professional level relic hunters, right? And I can only put two machines in it. One I just put down, which is the Equinox 800, right? Now, Equinox 800, 1,100 bucks, right? Very, very good machine. In my opinion, amongst the best on the market, right? Like, I think an operator with a lot of experience on a CTX would outperform this. But just for bang for your buck, right? This thing has found so much gear across Australia, across the world. It is a go-to machine, okay? So for 1,100 bucks, right? This has also got a gold prospecting mode on it, right? So you can't go too far wrong with an Equinox 800, right? Now, do I think the gold prospecting mode's as good as the gold monster or some of the other specialised machines? No, I don't, right? But it will work for the occasional trip out the gold fields. So, yes. So, now, I would suggest that to anyone until this thing came out. Right? Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Deus 2. Right? Wireless. Waterproof. Right? Right? This, like, seriously, depth-wise, right? Lightweight, right? Ease of use. These bone-conductive headphones, right? Very, very ergonomic, very comfortable to use, right? It is the best coin and relic machine, right? At the moment, it is the best. Okay, it will hit deeper stuff. I've hit deeper stuff with this compared to the Equinox, right? Now, everything, and it should. It's $2,500, right? It's twice the price. Okay, so Deus 2, right, is phenomenal, right? I see XP Australia's just got on and said, now we're talking. Absolutely phenomenal machine. The best relic hunter, bar none, right? Got a few problems though. Got a few things I don't like, right? It's wireless, which is cool, right? But then, when you take it down the beach and you put it in that much water, you lose connection between the coil and the control box, right? So that doesn't work very well, okay? So for a full-blown beach machine, right, that you're going to spend a lot of time in the water, you can put an aerial antenna on it, right? And so it works. That's what I would do with it, right? But you have to, right, do that. You can't just have a casual swing on the beach and then go, oh, I'll just go into the surf, because it will, it will, you will lose connection on it. The other thing, which isn't a major drama, is these little, you've got to change these plugs to go diving with it, which isn't a major thing, but yes. So, by far and away, the best relic hunter is Deus 2. No doubt in my mind, right? In fact, a Deus 2, I've fallen in love with a Deus 2, and I've got one in my car as we speak, right? So Deus 2, I absolutely love, Okay, absolutely adore that machine. It is phenomenal. Different coils available, all that sort of jazz. Great after sales service. All the parts are available here in Australia. It's phenomenal, and will completely outclass Equinox in the right hands. So, but yes, that no doubt in my mind. Right, guys. So if you're sitting there watching, right, just make a comment. Just say good day. Go in the draw. Win a Go Find 66 $300 machine. Right, very very good machine. So yes, so make sure you do that. So they go into the draw for that. Don't just sit there and be shy, right? So Wanda, Dylan, Benny Reed. I'm looking forward to spending a little bit of time with Benny Reed. XP with 3030, which is better. XP, lighter, you know, newer, ergonomic. Yeah, 3030 is really, really good in someone who knows what they're doing with it. Yeah, absolutely. But I can turn the Deus 2 on in factory and just in factory preset, put it on beach, and outclass an Equinox all day long from experience years. It is a great machine. And I'm talking about that from a personal point of view. I hit $1 coin. I had a signal. I had a signal on a walkway up a beach with the Equinox. I had both machines with me because that's what I do when I go detecting. No point detecting with one machine. So I walked up this path, right? And on the Equinox, I was getting this broken, like every fourth swing. I could tell something was there, but it was breaking up and junky, and I didn't like it, right? And I thought, oh, this will be a great test, right? Now, pulled the old Deus out this was my first trip out with it. Just pulled the Deus out and just got a solid signal every time that you dig, every time. And just bang, 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 stop you all day long. And I dug it, and it was about it was over 12 inches. It was probably 14 inches deep. $1 coin. Now I would have walked past that with a Knox, right? So, yeah. So, yes. So, the best relic machine going around, in my opinion, is that Deus 2. Righto. So, guys, don't forget. I've just said it, but go to the prize to win this. Just make a comment, okay? So, yeah. Make a comment. Now, it's important. If you're watching this and someone is thinking about buying a detector, tag them in this live stream so they can get to see it, and they might find it very interesting. The 4,000 Palmerville offer is on till at least the end of the month. I may extend it further. So, yeah. So, I may extend it further. So, yeah. Now, the Equinox is half the price. Don't get me wrong. The Equinox 800 is half the price. Okay? Yes, the Deus 2's got a gold mode, just like the Equinox has got a gold mode. I actually think it's probably a better gold mode on it, but it's yeah. So, yes. Right. Yeah, Knox is a bit sketchy on some targets. Benny spent a lot of time on a Knox. Pennies that don't ring a number and that sort of thing. And I think Benny, and he might agree with me on this, but I just think it's at the limit of its depth capability, and it gives you a noise because it knows something's there, right? And it might be a scratchy noise or not a solid signal, But then when you get closer to it, you're getting a number, right? Where the Deus 2 is just hitting it every time, sort of thing. So it's getting more depth. So, yeah. So, yeah. Right. So, yeah, Deus 2, lots of support, the Deus 2. Daryl agrees with the Deus 2. It does, it does, yes. Right. So, right, just reading some comments here. So, guys, a lot of people are talking about, you know, gold monsters, all that sort of thing. We've got to get into the gold detectors in a minute, right? We're just, I'm just going to get into that in a minute. Right. X-Terra was a good machine, but I tell you what, you get on like X-Terras are like a Volkswagen compared to a Porsche with some of the like the Inox and the Deus sort of thing. So, can you set your target numbers for $1 and $2 coins? Yeah, you can. You can do a lot with the Deus too. I don't know exactly how to do it. I would have to go and look at it, sort of thing. But it gives you a very solid target ID number. It's a very repeatable number. It doesn't jump around at all. The Equinox does a similar thing. It doesn't jump around that much at all. Mitchell Patterson, yeah, Deus 2, exceptional reports from beach detectors on the Sunshine Coast. And there's one reason for that. It's reaching deeper than most other things. Like, it won't reach deeper than like an X-Cal or a Sea Hunter or anything like that. But it's reaching deeper. That's what it is. So, yeah. Yeah. Right, so when is the go find drawn? At some stage in the next half an hour it will be drawn. Straight rum of that rum, yeah, with the fluid, yeah. I actually think the bourbon is better than the rum, but yeah. You can set your Daryl. You can set the tones to your liking. I like to use, and I think Cleggy talks about this on the Deus too. I like to use 100 tones, so you do get used to it, sort of thing. So, yeah. Right. I don't know whether I want to come into the QED thing. Yeah. I might get into the QED thing. You've got me at a weak moment with this flu, and I'm on drugs. I can blame that. We'll talk about it when we get to the pulse induction machines. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's talk about entry-level gold prospecting. Okay. Now, when we talk about entry-level gold prospecting, right, we're talking about $1,000 minimums. Okay. I hate to tell you this. But if you want a detector and you want to get into gold prospecting, right, you got to spend $1,000. Okay, you got it. There's no other way around it, right? If you haven't got $1,000 to spend and you want to get into gold, right, buy a pan and a sluice, right? Don't buy a detector. Don't buy a cheap detector and try and go gold prospecting. It'll drive you insane. You'll never do it again. Go to buy a gold pan. It's the cheapest way to get into gold prospecting. Yeah. So if you've got $700, right, save up a bit more, right? If you got $300, right, buy a pan and a sluice and go and get some gold, right? So, yes. Righto. I'm going to start with my favourite, right? I don't use it anymore, but it's my favourite, okay? Fisher, Gold Bug, 2, right? Not Gold Bug Pro, bugger that. Gold Bug 2, right? The smallest gold with a detector, this machine, right? Look at the size of the coil, right? Like, there's my hand, right? It's smaller than my hand, right? Ridiculously small gold, right? Proper manual. There's a dial on the back, the threshold's on the back, and then there's dials, and then a micro adjustment. Fisher Gold Bug 2, right? Probably amongst the dearest of them, actually, at $1,600, right? But absolutely killer machine. I love it, right? So yeah, it's one of my favourite machines. I love using it, right? Love using that machine. Don't use it anymore, but yeah. So yes. Now here's a machine. Here's the second Garrett machine, right? Now, this is a love-hate relationship, right? Because it's not really even Garrett's machine, right? It's the old White's 24K, right? You can see it's not in, you know, it's not in Garrett's normal colours. It's not yellow or, you know, it's got White's written on the back of the plastic here. It's just got Garrett stickers on it. So it's really a White's machine, but Garrett. The GMT 24K, right? Now, it's probably the most stable VLF machine that you can buy, right? It's also, let me just see it here, $12.99, right? So, you know, it's a good value machine. It's cheaper than the Gold Bug, right? But it's not 1980, right? Let me explain to you why it's not 1980, right? So you've pushed these two buttons on the side, and this pops out, right? And then, see here, we've got this thing, right? Lift and pull, right? Like, it's not 1980, right? So this is the thing I hate most about this machine, right? You know, come on, right? Love the performance of it. Hate the batteries and and look at the shape of it. Like, yeah. So, probably amongst the best performing machines, right? And that's why I've included it. But, geez, 1980, here we come, you know. So, I just don't like this business, and, you know, I can't even get that battery back in now. I had to pull it all the way out. But, good machine. Would I buy it? I don't know. It runs good, right? If you're going to go at 1980s, get this, right? You can see the advantage of this, right? Now, I'm going to tell you why I like this, okay? Is that all these relic hunters, right? And this is a problem I have with the Gold Monster, which is somewhere here behind me, or over there. It's all computer driven, right? Everything's computer driven. You don't have a lot of control, right? And so I think half the battle with a lot of these machines is that the ground balance isn't correct. With the Gold Bug, I can make the ground balance correct 100% of the time. I can have my finger sitting on this knob and I can just dial it up and down as the ground changes. I know what it's doing, right? And I think that's why I love this machine, because I can drive it, right? I'm not letting some computer drive it, right? So that's why I love this machine, because you have to drive the thing. You can't, you know. But, yes. I digress. Right. So, Gold Monster, probably the most popular gold VLF machine on the market today. Rightly so. Very few buttons, volume up and down. I forget what these buttons are now. Let me turn it on. It'll tell me. Sensitivity up and down, right? And 2 different modes, all metal mode and a discriminate mode. Okay, so yes, lots of machines out there. Find lots of gold. Take your time to learn the machine. Come and do a training session, right? You will love it, right? Because it is a good machine. There's no doubt about it. So it is a good machine, okay? So, yeah, I've got lots of time for this machine. Something's not quite happening here, but anyway, we'll fix that up. It's obviously been on charge. So, yeah, I love this machine. I much prefer to drive a Gold Bug, but, you know, that's just personal preference. But it's as good a machine as any sort of thing. And here is the lightweight ORX, right? Fully wireless, right? No point mucking around. Wireless, light, just nothing to them, right? You can run the machine without the stem. You can have this in your pocket. You can go in get in the creek wall and do this business, right? ORX, probably the polar opposite to the Gold Bug 2, right? In that the ORX, the guys at XP don't know what a dial is, right? That's how far removed it is from the Gold Bug 2, right? But, right, just an absolutely phenomenal little gold prospecting machine. You do have to drive it, no doubt about that. And there are some tricks with it. And we've got that on our training forms. There's sheets that we do. So, yes, very, very good machine. Now, the thing I like about XP is that machine is in the Deus 2. That's why I'm not using my Gold Bug anymore. Okay? I haven't sold my Gold Bug. It's not for sale. Don't ask me. Okay? But... and don't tell the missus, because I'm allowed 2 machines and that's just in the shed. But that machine there is in my Deus 2. My Deus 2 sits in the vehicle, right? So I've got a VLF, a very, very good VLF machine, right? That will cover all circumstances I need it to. And I run the pulse induction machine for my serious gold thing. But that's very, very, very good. Very, very good. Right, so we're about to get into the big guns now. Right. Now, ORX can do coin and relic. Don't worry about that. What's the lowest, frankly, the XP elliptical coil uses? The lowest frequency that this one does is 15, but I think you can run it down to 12, something like that. So, yeah, because it's 80, 30, 15, but then you can vary it up and down, I think 5 maybe. So maybe it's 10. So, yeah. So that elliptical coil you can get down lower, sort of thing. So, but yeah. So, single frequency, choose your frequency, right? So that's a little bit more flexible, right? Because you can choose your frequency. So, but you don't have to. You can just put it in gold mode and go for it, you know? Mick Train, what was the name of the blue one and price? The blue one was the Gold Monster. The Gold Monster is $1,100. So Gold Monster 1000. So yeah. So yes. Cameron's here. G'day, Cameron. Stephen, how are you? Brett Whitehead owns a Relic. Owns a VLF and a GPX. That's a good combination. So yeah. Trevor, what frequency does laughter become painful? 1 gigahertz. I love that. Righto, don't forget, guys. Giving away a Go Find 66 $300 machine, something like that. How much are they? Go Find 66 $399, $400 machine. I think recommended retail is actually more than that, but $399. Right. So all you have to do is post a comment. I keep losing my train of thought. Must be the Tonight Show powered by Codrell. So all you need to do is make a comment, right? Put a comment in the stream, and you go into the draw. We'll get the random comment picker, the Steam-driven random comment picker out towards the end of the show, and we'll go from there. Don't forget also to tag someone, right? If you've got someone who's tossing up what to buy, right? This is just honest advice, right? So this might help them, you know. So the drugs made me do it. So righto. I did need bourbon in this cup. I only got Coke. Don't worry about that. I'm going to swap this to a hobo mug. So hobo makes the world's greatest furnaces. Right. So gold prospecting. We're getting serious here. Right. So gold monster. Let's talk about Minelab's gold range, okay? The gold monster, okay? I know we've just covered it at entry level, okay? But we're just going to set the scene here, right? So, the gold monster is a good entry level machine, right? But if you want to go out and find gold consistently and find gold on a regular basis, right? This is probably not the perfect machine for gold prospecting, right? It's not. If you want to go out and find gold on a regular basis without spending a long time learning what's going on, right? Learning your machine. Minelab SDC 2300, right? I actually consider this the entry level for serious gold prospecting, right? It's $4,000, it's over $4,000, right? It's a serious waterproof gold prospecting machine, right? Very, very simple to use. 2 dials, couple of buttons up here, right? That's it, okay? SDC 2300, right? So, good machine, okay? Good, solid machine. Lots of people start there, right? Now, if we were to compare the amount of gold that this finds compared to that the gold monster finds, it's dramatically different. Okay, you will find it's 4 times the price. You'll probably find 5 or 6 times the amount of gold with this compared to the gold monster. Okay, now there are exceptions to the rule. There is the 1% guys, right, that have spent thousands of hours on a gold monster, right, and have that dialed in and just know it like the back of their hand, right? And do go out every time and find gold, right? No problem at all, right? But for the average person, this has to be entry level, right? This is a killer, right? Absolute killer, okay? Now, then, next, right? It's old. You have to know how to drive it. It has dials. It has switches. It's like you're sitting in a fighter. Well, not quite that far, that fighter level, but it's got, let me see if I can turn it around here. It's got switches, right? This is the 5000, okay? Now, GPX 5000, okay? Probably the most versatile machine going around if you know how to drive it. It takes some driving, right? There's a learning curve with this because you've got dials and switches, right? It's not the be all and end all, okay? Now, my personal opinion is while these Minelab coils are very, very good, right? You can put a ton of aftermarket coils on them. A ton. There's probably 50 coils you can buy to put on this machine, okay? And I do believe they're better. You put a 12-inch nugget finder on this, you put a, coil tech on it, you put a little Sadie coil on it. These are really a three machine. I think they're a three coil machine, okay? You want a little Sadie coil, a little tiny thing, right? You want a mid coil, like a 12-inch Evo or a 11-inch coil tech coil, right? And then you want a big one. You want a 19 round or a 19 by 17 or whatever it is, right? So that will cover 80% of what the other two big guys do, right? Lots of people still run these and swear that this goes better than a 6 or a 7, right? Maybe. Don't think so. But the 5000 is up there, right? It's really, really up there, okay? So the 5000 is a contender, okay, in that thing. Let's put that there. Right. Then there's two. The big question, 6000 versus 7000, right? I get this question all the time, right? And it's a good question, right? Only a little bit. If you're going to spend 8000, right? You're going to spend 8000 on a 6, right? Or 9.5 on a 7, right? What do you do, right? And it's a great question, okay? Now, there's benefits, right? 6000, the GeoSense is cool, right? It does run a lot of the stuff in the background that you don't have to think about. Very few buttons on it, very few settings, right? Not like the 7, okay? It's light, super light, right? And will probably, in most people's hands, go smaller than the 7, okay? Now I said most people's hands because I know that the 7 will go tiny, right? I've seen it go tiny, right? Now, I put it to people this way, okay? The 6000, right? Well, actually, let me tell you the story, how I came up with this, okay? So last year, all of last year, in the Palmer, I ran the 6000, right? I didn't do a lot of detecting up there, but when I did, I ran the 6000, okay? The 6000, absolutely love the lightweightness of it, absolutely adored it, right? And I went out a few times with experienced 7 users, okay? The 6000, I found more pieces, no doubt about it. More pieces of gold than basically anyone else. More pieces, right? I had pieces and pieces and pieces of gold, right? I still found less weight than the boys run the 7, right? Much less weight, right? Pardon me. I might find 30 pieces for the day, right? And the 7 was finding 10 times the weight, right? So, if you're going out right, to have some fun on the weekend, right? You go out a couple of weekends a month, right? Or you go out one weekend a month, get the 6,000, right? The 7,000 still wins, right? The 7,000 is better. People are coming into me and saying, "Oh, I've got to get rid of my 7 and get a 6." Don't. Like, if you want gold, just keep the 7, right? The 6,000 is a great machine, but this thing, the 7, I know I'm not showing it, demonstrating it real well here. We've got too many bloody machines around. The 7,000 will go deeper, right? In the right hands, it goes just as small, right? The 7 is still the king. It weighs a ton. It weighs a ton. And there is more settings on it. I don't tend to use them, but the 7 is dramatically a better machine. Not dramatically, it's just a better machine, right? Now, the 6,000 may be a better machine for you, right? Because it's so much lighter. If you don't like the heavy, right? You don't like the harnesses, right? And it and it's simple to use, really, really simple to use. So if you're not trying to make a living, you want to go out and have a fun for it. If you don't really care, as long as you find a piece of gold, 6,000 is probably as good as it gets, right? But you go, no. I've just spent 10 grand on a detector. I want to find gold, right? And I want to have some decent gold. Buy a 7 all day long, right? Right. So someone there. Oh, Greg Miller's got some news there. We'll get it up here. Someone said 6,000 is probably better for Warwick. I don't agree at all, because the 7 will go in the right hands, will go just as small as a 6. So, yeah. But, yeah. Caleb, Mindland Marketing tries to tell you the 7,000 has better sensitivity than the Gold Monster. Where's my phone? I don't know whether I can find this. I've showed this before on here. I've got a picture of a set of scales, right? Oh, it might be too hard to find. Here. Oh, no, it's not. No, that's not the picture. That's not the picture. Is that it? No. Anyway, I have a picture here on my phone that the 7 with the standard coil, not with 12-inch nugget finder, with the standard coil, I found 3 pieces of gold, and on the scales they were less than 0.1. So they were 0.09. 3 pieces of gold, right? So don't tell me that doesn't go small, because it does go small. It really, really goes small. So, yeah. So, yeah. Will I run a 7? Yeah, absolutely, I'd run a 7. So, yeah. So, SDC with an RX is a good combo. So, yeah. Right. How close can you work a 7 and a 6 in one area? Oh, relatively close. So, yeah, relatively close. I don't know what relatively close. Metal Detecting Brisbane, Australia. What's your thoughts on QED? Right, let's get into QED. Right. QED as a brand upsets me, right? Because I really would love a properly Australian made metal detector. I really, really would. I love it. I love the idea. I like Australian made. The problem is, it's just a mess, right? The machine might be good, but oh God, you don't want to be on the Facebook page. Then, right, in highly mineralised ground, from all reports, right, it doesn't work as well as some of these other machines. Now, it shouldn't either. It's a $2,000 machine, right? So, yes, I think XP have got some work to do. Not XP. What are they? What are they called again? QED. QED. I have to fucking find it. I've forgotten it. But, you know, God. It just... I've left the QED pages. I can't listen to that anymore. So, yeah. In WA, I've heard a lot of stuff, but they're not real, like that heavily mineralised ground. I've heard that they're not that great in that real heavy mineralisation. Like at Warwick and stuff, it's good, you know. So yeah, so. Wasn't Minelab Australian once? Yes, Mark, it was. And really, it's an Australian company. It started in Australia, but Coden bought them a number of years ago. And, yeah. So, yeah. Johnny Hobo showed up and he loves the mug. We're talking about the world's greatest furnaces. Right? Little furnaces you can take home. Only $300 or $400 or something or other on the website. Right, guys, we're getting close. Go find 66. Win it tonight, right? If you haven't made a comment in the stream, make a comment in the stream urgently, right? Because we're going to fire up the random comment generator directly, and we're going to have a draw in the next sort of 10 minutes or so. So, yes, so that's what we're going to do. Right, so, here we go, right? So, now someone asked before, where was that comment? Let me just find that comment. About ATX, right? ATX, I ran an ATX for a long, long time. And yeah, I'll say this about the Garrett ATX, right? The Garrett ATX, you've got to be listening, right? There's a couple of things, right? It really sits together with this guy, right? STC, right? So there's two things, okay? The 8-inch coil, right, which this has got on it, is the best coil for the ATX. There's no doubt about that. The coil's about $1,000, but it is, and it doesn't come with it, right? But yes, right. It's about it's $1,000, right? But it's the best coil. There's no doubt in my mind about that, right? It's got a little hollow, open coil sort of thing, right? But the ATX has got the Garrett sound to it, the Garrett audio, okay? Now, what happens is when you hit a bit of gold with the ATX, right, what happens in your head, okay? Well, what happens in my head is I go, what was that, right? So my question goes, like, I'm questioning, did I just hear something, right? Whereas if you were to run over the same target with that, right, it would slap you on the back of the head with it and say, there's something here, right? So there's that, right? Now, if the machine is doing that to me and I'm going, oh, what was that? On a target that slaps me with, right? I would think then I'm missing the targets that are faint on this. I wouldn't even hear it with the ATX. So for those two things, right, this is and they're about the same price, right? That's the machine you'd buy all day long, okay? So ATXs, right, are, I think, robust, really solid machine, come with a cool case, all that sort of stuff. But I'd buy that thing every day. And it hurts me to say that because I love the Garrett machines, but that's what I do. So, yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah. Well, I've missed a stack of comments there. Yeah, the SDC, it slaps you in the head sometimes. So, yeah. Right. Oh, 7000 needs a new coil. Nugget finder or the standard nugget finder. Nugget finder, nugget finder, nugget finder. 12-inch nugget finder on a Z. Love it. Yeah. Now, big news. Greg Miller's just saying ZX Gold Pro headphones are coming out for the 6000. So, yeah. That's good news. So, yeah. I can't comment. You've muted me. Well, you just commented, Mick. Mick Nielsen. Very loud. No issues on windy days. Interesting. Right. Now, I don't want to turn people off a machine either. Like, if you've got your heart set on a machine, go for it, right? But this is my honest opinion, right? You know, if you want to talk to me in some detail about specific machines, I can talk you through it, sort of thing. Because I've used these machines, right? I try to use every machine that comes out, right? Like, I don't sell Noctis. Don't sell them, right? But I tell you what, I've spent some time on Simplex. I've spent some time on a Legend. You know, I can talk you through this stuff, you know. So, you know, that's the, you know, I'll talk you through it, you know. So, yes. So I'm wasting my time looking for gold with the Nox 800. No, you're not, right? You're not wasting your time. It's got a gold prospecting mode. You want to wind up the frequency up to as high as it goes, like 40 or something like that, right? And just go nice and slow, ground balance a lot. Yeah, you'll find some gold with it, okay? But it's not a purebred gold prospecting machine. It's not a 7000. It's not a gold. It's not a 6000. It's not an STC. You won't find the same amount of gold. There's no doubt about that. So yeah. Oh, Stephen. Oh, Adrian. Someone's talking about, as a whiskey drinker, I reckon a vodka better medicine for cold. Nah, whiskey. I can drink whiskey until the cows come home. So, yeah. The Pro and the Max, very happy with. They're good machines. So, yeah. Colleen, how hot is it during the day? I think it's got to like 30s. It's not overly hot. Metal detector, Matty G. Wonder if Garrett will bring out a machine to match the 6000 in time. I'm sure they will. So, yeah. I'm sure they will. Robert Gilchrist. New coils for the 6000. Do you think the little one will be good? I'm sure they'll all be good, right? But I don't want to go smaller, right? So, like, that thing's got an 11-inch coil on it, okay? If you were to go smaller, it would pick up every single last tiny little bit. It would pick up more of those little tiny, you know, quarter of a grain of rice things, right? I don't want to pick up more of that. I want to pick up less of that so I can keep moving and find bigger pieces. So I think the bigger coil is the key, Not the smaller coil. I think the bigger coil. 17 by 13 coil on that machine improves the machine. Right? Right. Mitchell. Patterson. Surely the 7000 is due for a software update now. By now. It's been a while. No. It's still the best. Why fix it? Right. What's your least sold gold detector? ATX. David, ATX. Yeah. In fact, as customers have said, I won't sell them. So, yeah. I actually bring them up and say, yeah, are you sure you want an ATX? So, yes. So, what's the best coil for what? I've missed, it jumped. Best coil for the SDC at the Palmer. Best coil for the SDC are the two small coils from Coiltech. Right? They're the best ones. Anyone used a Garrett Gold Stinger Scorpion? I have, David. Yeah. I know I've used a Gold Stinger. So, yeah. Have you ever thought of being on Aussie Gold Hunters show? What's your thoughts on the show? Well, I hate to tell you, but you may see a moment of me on the Aussie Gold Hunters this year, actually, I think. I don't know whether I made the cutting room floor or I made the show, but yeah. But no, it's not my game, Aussie Gold Hunters. So, not my game. So, yeah. But it's a good entertainment show. I don't know whether it's a reality show, but it's a good entertaining show. So, yeah. ZX search coils are on their way, Benny. They should be here. Should be here soon, actually. So, yes. So, yeah. Now, Bill Daniels. Bill Daniels makes, this is the last point before we draw the metal detector, right? Bill Daniels makes a point that I wanted to make. Best detector is the one you have, love the one you're with, right? Bill's put it better than what I was going to do, right? You've got a 4500, right? And you go, Ben said the 5000's good. Don't sell the 4500, go and use the thing, right? The one you've got in the cupboard is the best machine to go and use, okay? You don't need to go and buy a new machine, right? If you're not using your machine, don't buy another one, right? The exception might be if it needs to take 12 9-volt batteries for it to run, maybe then, right? But if you've got a fairly modern machine, right? If you've got a fairly modern machine, right? Don't sell it and buy another one, right? Go and spend some time with the machine, right? Get to know it, right? Spend a lot of time on it. Go and get some training, right? Go and get some how to read the gold field. You know, do that sort of thing. So, yes. So, yeah. They are all crap if you don't swing over a target. Matty is dead right. Righto, let's go. Who's going to win? Go Fine 66. I am closing the thing off in 3, 2, 1. There we go. I'm closed it off. Okay. So let me just get it fired up here. And we'll just have a look here. Let me get those comments back up again. Here we go. Someone's kids will win. Right. Okay. Okay, so I have put... It took me an hour to work this out, but I've managed to put all the YouTube comments and all the Facebook comments I've worked out how to do that now. Right, here we go. Let's push this button here. We'll go from there. And the winner is Tim Squire. Congratulations, Tim Squire. You have won a Go Find 66. I will contact you directly after the show and organise to get that out to you, mate. So, Tim Squire, congratulations. Tim was on Facebook since most of our viewers were there tonight, and that makes the most sense. So, that's funny how it works it out. So, well done, Tim. Thank you, everyone, for coming in the show. Don't forget to give me a call at the shop. And if you want to talk about these detectors and you want to buy, right, just give us a shout. No troubles at all. I talk detectors all the day. In fact, in the next day or two, you're best not to come into the shop because I'm disease-ridden, right? I haven't got the Wu-Tang flu. I've just got the normal flu, right? But you're probably best to be talking to me on the phone at the moment because I feel like every time I talk to someone. So, yes. So, righto, guys. Thanks very much. Let's see if the outro works. Will we see if the outro works? It may not. Anyway, thanks very much. We'll see you next week. And we might even do someone just made a good suggestion there, some basic detecting training. How's that sound? Get into the gold thing. Will we do a gold thing next week and a basic detecting training course? Let's do that, eh? Righto, guys. Good night. See you next week. Let's see if this works. And it doesn't, but I'll still see you next week. See you later, guys. Bye.